Hey guys, so today I'm going to do two book reviews on books called Notice Me and Ring Around Rosie. So I'm going to start with Notice Me. So the book Notice Me was about this boy called Tyler and this new girl called Emma. And Emma would just moved to this new city and she didn't really have that many friends, and Tyler wanted to know her a little bit better, and so the reason why Emma didn't really want to make friends was because people from her last city place, her best friend and her old boyfriend, really hurt her. Her boyfriend cheated with her best friend on her, and that's why she didn't really want to make friends, and her mom was getting quite worried about her and saying oh, you really need to go, otherwise I'll put you in a group where you will know how to make them, because I don't think you do. And this boy called Tyler, he tried to make friends with her, and they started hanging out more, and he started to like her a little bit more than a friend. But she didn't really want to get more than a friend yet, because she still was recovering of what happened to her in last time. So they got boyfriend and girlfriend a couple of months later, and they did all of these things together, and they went to parties, and this story basically just talked about how she progressed from having no friends to having loads of friends and being popular and clever and stuff like that. So now I'm going to read a little bit. Tyler had been watching the new girl, Emma, for 2 months. She wasn't his type at all, but he couldn't seem to ignore her. The same could not be said of her interest in him, was non-existent. This was a new experiment for Tyler. He was one of the popular guys at school. Not every girl chased after him, but he had to pick out dates. Some girls showed disdain of him because his reputation as a player. Some pretended to ignore him, and he wouldn't even catch a glimpse of them checking him out when they thought he didn't notice. Many of the less popular girls were so shy around him that they could barely say 2 words to him. Emma was completely different, because she wasn't pretending to ignore him. She seemed to not have noticed him at all, even though they were in the same history class. He had realized that she was often lost in her own world, as she didn't pay all that much attention to what was going around her. She didn't dress like the other girls around, their skinny jeans and short skirts. All he had ever seen her wear was a long flowing dress and loose skirts that fell below her knees. He wished that she would wear jeans one day so that he could see the kind of body she had. Unlike the other girls, she wore no makeup, which was also added to her innocent look. He didn't even know why he was interested in her. She was okay looking, but nothing special. Certainly none of the popular girls. Her long brown hair fell halfway down her back, and she had warm brown eyes, even though she didn't direct the warmth at anyone. Tyler wondered what happened to her in the past. So that was just a little bit of the story, and as I said, they just talked about what happened, and how he didn't really notice her, and he did notice her, but she didn't really talk that much. She was really quiet than the other girls. He was comparing them like to the popular girls and to her. So I would probably rate this book a 8 out of 10 because it was quite fun to read and there were some funny parts in the story where she would just like make fun and he would just have fun with her. And I really enjoyed those bits because it would make me like smile and stuff because they seemed really fun with her friends and Tyler. So yeah, so this was the first book review and let's move on to the second. So what this second book review was about, and it's also called Ring Around Rosie, but what this story was about, it was quite sad because it talked about like how this girl just moved into like a new city and she disappeared at that moment and her family were trying to find her and her brother was really worried about her and it took like a really long time to find her and she was suffering with these men who tried to like kill her and stuff, and it was really sad because it was actually a real story. So now I'm going to tell you what kind of happened in the story. So at the start of the story, Rosie, Ted and Mum and Dad moved on from London to a new place really far away because they wanted to have a fresh start because Rosie wasn't really doing that well in that place because she was like making friends with like these people that her parents didn't want her to hang out with because they were making her do stuff that she didn't really want to do. And what this story was about was, so they just moved and Ted and Rosie went to the beach and Rosie noticed these boys and she wanted to hang out with them, but then she realised that they tried to like kill her and Ted just was like around the beach and he was like making sandcastles. And he didn't realise that Rosie went somewhere and he didn't see her afterwards, so he ran home and told her parents. But Rosie suffered a very long time and it was on the news and stuff. And when she was at that place with the boys, where she was suffering, there were other girls her age as well and they tried to escape. Once she tried to escape and it worked, but then she nearly got run over a car, so she stopped and then like somebody hit her. So, and that man, it was really mysterious and it didn't say who he was, but yeah, which it was quite weird because he was just following her and that was meant to be her dad, but he was just pretending. And the story actually ended really happily because Rosie went back and her family were really happy to see her again. So let's get started on the reading. As Rosie's paintbrush swept carefully over the paper, searching out the picture beneath, she ignored the gate with its threatening sign. She could feel the beckoning of her and its beckoning of her tendencies, tickling the back of her neck until her hair stood on the end. She kept her gaze firmly on the scene in front of her. She promised her mum that she was going to paint, but she could not trustfully not do anything silly. And to be fair, her mum was very right to be nervous after what happened in London. Rosie felt her twitch emotionally and snapped instantly, forcing her again to look over her right shoulder and twitch the gate and slowly lying hedge on the footpath beyond. If the sign had said, "Come in, visitors welcome," she wouldn't have given a second glance. In fact, that would have said, "Danger, keep out, private," was like a lighted match to a thyromaniac. Or in Rosie's case, an order she couldn't obey. There was no disputing the beauty of what lay before her, and the blush stiffened cliff that swung dramatically down the sea, just inches from her feet, miles the open water stretching the horizon. Nothing would have been in wonder of it, and Rosie stiffened herself to a lack of attention. Why could she not appreciate the excessive things in life? Rosie jumped as her mum shouted from the house. Drat! It was like she could read her mind. Coming, Mum, she shouted, waving over her shoulder. She'd come back later, somehow. So that little bit just talked about that, like how she didn't really want to obey the rules, and just as they moved into their new house, she was just like making a painting. And yeah, so I would probably rate this book a 7 out of 10. I did really enjoy it, and it gave me loads of facts, but it was really sad, and because it was a real story, it made me feel like scared of what might happen in London and stuff like that, and that's why I didn't really rate this book a high standard, because it made me quite sad, but I still really enjoyed it. So that was the book review for this week, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for next week.